What is going on, everybody? Happy Saturday, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Justin, aka No Good Comics. We are doing another episode of Comic Collector Origins. This is episode number 36. Holy crap, man. Time is flying, and it has been an incredible journey. I know I mention that every episode, but it really has, because I've met so many different people in this comic book community, this comic book hobby, and shared so many different stories, heard so many different backgrounds, where people have come from. What they're collecting right now, how they got started. If you guys are new here, if it's your first time, this is what Origins is all about. I interview individuals from the comic book community. We get to know a little bit more of their background, how they first got started, maybe when they first started going to Comic Cons and things like that, and then kind of where they stand right now with the hobby itself. Appreciate you guys if you're here live. And of course, if you're catching the replay, always appreciate that as well. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I do appreciate that as well. And really excited for my guest today, because I have not been able to really collaborate up until recently with him, and yet I've known him, I feel like, for the full almost 2.5 years, almost 3 years that I've been kind of part of this community and this hobby. So really excited. And also he's a member of NY Warriors, New York Warriors, if you guys are not familiar with them. But it's my man Joker, aka Joker. Used to be Joker M21. So if you've seen him on Instagram, he's now going by Joker with the hashtag East Meets West Comics. So I know he has a lot of shows going on. I put his information in the description below, but let me bring Joker in right now and say what's going on. What's up, Joker?
Yo, what's up, man? Please thumbs up, guys. Make sure you thumbs up, man. Always show support, man, for good people in the comic community, man. So definitely thumbs up. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate that, dude. And hey, man, thank you so much for taking your time to be on the show, man. I know you're a busy guy. You got a lot of shows going on. I saw you streaming last night. You streaming throughout the week, like all these different things, different groups and stuff. So I love it, man. I love the hustle.
Yeah, but listen, I tell you what, the COVID has really give me time to do this. Just put it that way,
So yeah. True, man. It's so true, man. And I do question, like, when things get back to normal. I know we were talking a little bit about this beforehand. When things get back to normal, people are going to start going out again. Are we all still going to be, committed to some of these things that we do and be on these shows? And whether you're in the chat or you have your own show, things like that, it'll be interesting to see kind of where things go. Because of course we'll be able to meet up. We'll be able to go to Comic Cons and things like that. So I am excited for that.
Yeah.
With that, before we jump into things and before we say hello to the chat, guys, make sure if you're not following Joker, to sub him up. I put all the information in the description below, your YouTube channel and also Instagram as well. So let's say a quick hello to the chat, and then we'll get into the fun questions.
Got it.
I think we had my man Wesley hanging out early in the chat. He says he's finally gonna be able to catch a live one. Nice, dude.
That's right, man.
Nice. Good to see you, Wesley.
Shout out to the Power Pack too. All right.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Power Pack. Absolutely. Comics and Culture in the house as well. What's going on? We got Sheena, my girl Sheena. What's up, Sheena? Good to see you out in Vegas. We got my man Al Strands Comics in the house as well. Always a pleasure, my friend. My buddy Michael, Sove Collector.
What's up?
Hello. Good afternoon. We got Steve representing Team Nerd Herd. Always representing.
I've been recently talking to my man Steve, DMing back and forth, man. We gotta collaborate, Steve. Definitely, man. Definitely.
Oh, dude, Steve's the best, man. He's definitely the best. Appreciate you stopping in. I know he's getting a haircut right now, so he'll be kind of in and out. Climbing Comics, Alan, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in. We also got Mercy Collectibles all the way from Sweden. Always a good friend of mine. So Mercy, appreciate you, brother. Hope everything's good on the other side. Okay, I think we got everybody at the moment, but guys, feel free to continue chatting it up. If you have questions for Joker, put it in the comment section. I will highlight these. Joker, if you see anything that you want to kind of go off and talk about or answer, feel free to do so. We'll just go free flowing here. So VP also in the house. What's up, VP?
What's up?
All right, cool. So with that being said, let's just get this thing started with my most general question here is where and when did this all start for you when it came to actually reading comics, collecting comics, whatever came first? How old were you? What was your environment? What did it look like at that time?
All right, well, deal with me because we're gonna go back and forth throughout.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was about maybe like 8 years old when I first saw my first comic book. I think it was some kid in school. I think it was a Spider-Man book. Don't really remember, but flash forward a little bit more to when I first purchased my first comic book was I grew up with some kid, we grew up, we're not friends anymore. Well, we're still cool, but I haven't seen him in a while. We grew up together and he had a crazy amount of comic books and he was into Wolverine. He was into Wolverine and stuff like he had a lot of all those Marvel Comic Present books, those double-sided covers. So yeah, he had those, and he introduced me to that. To my first purchase of those was with, he took me to his LCS, and his LCS is gonna sound crazy. Is one of those damn, we call them in Spain, and call them botanicas. Botanicas is basically where you buy candles and these statues, religious stuff.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So it was his LCS. So I was a little bit scared and skeptical. I was like 12 years old going into this store. So I went in there and I made my first purchase. And my purchase, I don't have it with me anymore, but I do have the book. I don't have the same exact book, but I don't know. I wonder what happened to that book. It's Amazing Spider-Man 307 with the comedian on the cover, Tom McFarlane cover.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that was my first purchase of a comic book myself with my own money, Wow, so
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. And so I purchased that, and throughout that, I became that kind of led me on to other things with Spider-Man. I was a big Spider-Man fan back then, Then I got into Batman. That Batman now is just my favorite Batman. Collected. Then I stopped about when I started like in the middle, like high school. When I started high school, I stopped collecting. And just I was into other things, playing handball, playing basketball, baseball, football, all that stuff. Girls, And then I started working in a flash forward later on. I started working, doing things. Basically, like I've been working in my job for like 15 years ago already. My job. I've literally worked across the street from Midtown Comics.
Oh, no way! Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yo, listen, man. If you go there all the time, come meet me, man. 41st Lexington.
Dude, I haven't gone in a while, but like my girlfriend used to work in New York City. There were times where I'd like to go just to go because I like checking that out. So I get to go to the city before the pandemic, a couple times a year or whatever. But that's good to know, man. That's really good to know.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you're ever around, let me know, man.
For sure.
So I started working there, and then I see that and I was always I always had my comic books. It was my mom's house. I was with my girl already. We moved together. But I never had my comics with me. So I was like, I saw Midtown. I saw the big giant Superman symbol in front of the Midtown Comics. You know how it looks or whatever. So I was like, I just got to go in there. So I went in there one day, and I purchased a couple of books or whatever. It wasn't, but they never stuck with me again. It was just like I haven't been like how I am now. But I want to give a shout out to one of my boys, man. His name is Udi. Udi, he got me into reading books, like graphic novels, basically. And one of the stories he put me on, and was The Blackest Night of DC. And if you read that book, that storyline, that story arc is amazing in DC.
Oh, really? I haven't read it.
Oh yeah, you need to read it. It's a dope book. Nice. So he got me into reading that. And that kind of like stuck with me. So then I wanted to read more. Once I finished it, I was like, I need more. Give me more.
Of course.
I started with the graphic novels. This and that. He recommended me more books. And then I started, collecting single issues. I started making more trips to Midtown, and stuff like that. And I was a big Batman guy, so I started collecting Batman. I'll know what you're gonna ask me some more questions. I'll show you some books that I have from Batman's. Some of the like books that are real dear to my heart that are not even expensive. They don't mean they don't cost, may not mean nothing to nobody, but it means a lot to me. So but yeah, those are my basically my origins, how it's go in and out of my life of comic books, so basically that's the gist of it.
That's awesome, man. And it's cool because you're not alone. Everybody I feel like has gone in and out of the hobby from time to time. Obviously life happens and we're exploring other things, as you mentioned, just like through high school and so on and so forth. Like, there's just so many different things going on from versus when we were just a kid or whatever. So very cool to kind of get a little glimpse of that and kind of how you've arrived, at least got close to now where you are right now, which I do want to ask next. I want to say a quick hello to a couple of people. I see Dale Suspense in the house. We also got John's Comics with Kids. What's going on, John? Let's see. We had a couple other people that jumped in here earlier. We got Moonlit Comics. That's Michelle. What's going on, Michelle? Raging Cajun also in the house. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see. We got Chamorro. Oh, that chat just jumped on me. But Chamorro Cinema in the house. Chamorro's everywhere, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Appreciate the support.
Cool. So let's jump back in. So with that, then when was it that you started to get into the social media when it came to like Instagram, YouTube, and really connecting with a community? Because did you know that there was this big community that there is today? And I know there weren't that many as back then, but just even as you got into it in the past couple of years.
Yeah. I was more into, when it comes to the comic book community. I was more involved in the YouTube when it comes to that.
Right.
Instagram came later on. Because the wife made me get Instagram a while ago, so I got an Instagram, and then I was watching YouTube videos. One of the OGs. I always say one of the OGs is going to be Lightning 2288. The OG Omega Shinryuken Mercenary, who still does videos. Those people like that. People may not know those type of people, but they need to know those type of people because they're the ones who paved the way when it comes to the YouTube comic book community. Definitely, man, because this is back in the day before live shows and everything that people used to do. Haul videos, live haul videos. So it's a first-person shooter view. Basically, you just basically views of the books, and that's it. You don't see the person's face or nothing, and they just tell you the story behind books. And I appreciate those type of videos because they have so much stories behind it, how they acquired the book, why they acquired the book, what's about that book that they got it. So that kind of interests me. And then later on I was drawn to Manny NYC, my fellow NY Warriors, Biggs, Amazing Murphinator, TiVo, James, King of the Golden State. I started watching their videos more and more. And then, we'll talk about, a few of the New York Warriors, how the rest is history. But I was basically more involved in the YouTube comic book community before I was in IG. And then I got into the IG. And then I wasn't too big yet. Like, not say big, but you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't like communicating with people a lot. And
you went right into it, right?
Yeah. Right. So, then I started posting a comic here and there or whatever. And I was getting feedback from that. So, that's I became friends with Manny, and then the followers started coming in, and I started posting more books, and the rest is history.
Right. So kind of tied together after a while. You started meeting people from both platforms. So when you were first doing YouTube, then were you just so I guess if there weren't lives, you were just watching them, commenting on them. You weren't actually doing videos yourself at that time.
No, actually, no, I was not doing videos. And believe it or not, I was not commenting. I was more of a just watching, and I was afraid to comment. Yeah, I was a lurker, These guys were like, I look up to them because they knew their shit. I feel like I feel like I couldn't hang with them, Right. I was a little bit intimidated. Just put that,
That's funny, man. That's funny. So when would you say? I mean, even before the lives and stuff, like how many years ago was this? I mean, like past 10 years, past 5 years? Like when did you really start getting into the YouTube stuff before you even showed your own face on there?
Oh, I started doing videos. Believe it or not, Omega Shinryuken. I don't know if you remembers or anything. We talked through DMs on IG, and I told him I watch your videos, and I appreciate you and this, whatever. And he's like, you should do videos, because I show him, he saw my books on IG, and he's like, you should definitely make videos. So he kind of gave me the push. And one of my first videos, if you go way back, you scroll back on my page, is an unboxing. And my wife is kind of like the camera person in that one. Right. And she's helping me out. And I'm doing the unboxing. And so that's one of my first videos. I think it's about 7 years ago, I think. It was 6 years. Yeah. So but I started making more videos once I started talking to Manny. Manny kind of got me more into that because I bumped into, Manny. We'll talk about that right now. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Tell me how it started.
Yeah, it all started basically a few years ago already. It was New York, Big Apple Con here in New York City. Okay. If you're in the tri-state area, you know where Madison Square Garden is, man. Big Apple Con is basically across the street of Madison Square Garden. They have a nice little convention there. They they bring all the artists and whatever. There that year, Stan Lee was supposed to be the main event there. But I think he got sick, he couldn't make it, and Jim Lee covered for him. So Jim Lee covered for him, and so I was standing in line, and again, I knew the Warriors, through watching them. I knew Manny NYC already, I knew Biggs already from watching them on YouTube, but they never knew me because I never really said anything to them on the chat or whatever. Right. Yeah, so we was outside, and I see a couple of heads ahead of me. Like we was online, me and my son, because I took my son with me. And I see a few guys, that I recognize, and I seen Biggs, believe it or not, first, and he was way ahead on the line. So he went inside, and I didn't see him after that. Whatever. We got split up or whatever. I wanted to introduce myself when we got inside, but I never found them or whatever. But we got on the Jim Lee line because I had a book that I wanted to get my Batman 608 second printing signed. If you knew that one, Batman's on top of the gargoyle, and I wanted to get that signed by Jim Lee,
Nice.
and I wanted to get slabbed with CGC. So I went there and I got online, me and my son or whatever. And you know, he wanted to meet because my son is an artist. He wanted to meet Jim Lee because he loves Jim Lee and stuff like that. So it was awesome. We took picture and everything, you know. So we were standing in line waiting for him, and then I see Manny on the corner of my eye. And he's just standing there and he's guiding people, waiting people. So I'm like, I don't know if he's security or whatever he's doing. I don't know. So I kind of tapped him on the shoulder when we got to the, you know, by the front of the line where he was at. So I tapped him on the shoulder. I was like, "Oh, you Manny NYC, right?" And he, yo, without listening to beat, you know, if you know Manny, you know how Manny is. Manny, he just looks at me. He turns around and looks at me. He looks at me up and down, and he's just like with a serious face, like who's this guy? Like, you know, and I was like, "Yo, yeah, man, I watch you. You do YouTube videos, you know, for a couple years already. You know, I like watching your videos, you know, and you know." I was basically a little bit intimidated talking to him at first because it's the first time you've been, you know, somebody that you know, see on YouTube and stuff like that. So I introduced myself. He was like, "Oh, okay." So once he gave me the okay, that was it. I was like, "All right, so we good." He gave me the okay. Nice. You know, he gave me the okay. So he was like, "Yeah, what you doing? What you doing here?" I was like, "Oh, I'm getting this book signed or whatever. CGC. I want to get it slabbed by CGC." And he was like, "Well, I'm working for CBCS as a witness, AW." Oh, okay. So I was like, okay, you know, but I see him already finishing up with people that he had, you know, signed their books. Yeah, yeah. So he had like a good 10 people or whatever, signed and ready to go to the CBCS booth to get their paperwork done or whatever. Right. And then I got my books, and you know, I was on next online to get my book signed by Jim Lee. And basically, my man, Manny, without even knowing me, he waited for me. He was like, "I'll wait for you. Just go get your book." So he made a whole 10 people wait just for me, you know?
That's crazy.
I was like, damn, okay, you know, so whatever. I got my book signed, and then, you know, the rest is history. After that, I said, you know, we parted ways. We exchanged numbers. Nice. But, you know, we kept in touch off and on and whatever. Fast forward to New York Comic Con that same year. I was online getting wristbands because back then we used to do wristbands before they did the lottery to get signings with DC or whatever. So I went there and I got online, and then somebody called me or tapped me on my shoulder. I turned around, it was Manny, and Manny was there, and he was like, "Hey, how you doing? You know, you know, catching up." And I was like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" You know, again, I was with my son or whatever, and you know, we was talking for a little bit, and then you know, he was online too. So I let him cut everybody, you know. So I told him, come on, you know, he helped me out, so I felt like I had to help him out.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
So, yeah. So he got a wristband or whatever. He went to get a Frank Miller wristband. I wanted to get a book signed by Frank Miller, but I was gonna get another book signed by Jim Lee because Jim Lee was doing another signing there with DC. So we kind of like split it up or whatever. You know, if I had a Frank Miller book, I give him my Frank Miller book. If he had Jim Lee book, he give me the Jim Lee book. So we did it like that to get stuff signed. So after that, you know, we got a signing done later on or whatever. And then, you know, we split up. And you know, I had to give him back his book because you know, I had to, you know, it was different timings, those signings.
Sure.
So I met up with him later on in the afternoon. That's the afternoon. I think it was the Friday because you know it's 3 days, you know, Comic Cons or whatever. So he went to go. He texted me. He was like, "Oh, I'm getting him some books signed by Chris Claremont or whatever." I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll meet you there." So I went down to the Artist Alley. If everybody knows New York Comic Con, you go to the Artist Alley in Javits Center. So I met him by Chris Claremont, and Chris Claremont was doing signings. Then nobody was on his table, nobody was there or whatever. So man, it was perfect, man. He had a whole short box to get some books signed for somebody he's helping out. Get these books slabbed or whatever. So you know, he got those books signed or whatever. I was stood there with him the whole, I think it was an hour that we was waiting for Chris Claremont to finish. And then after that, the rest was history. You know, he invited me a couple days later. I got an email from Biggs saying, "Oh, yo, dude, I think it was email or a messenger from Facebook." He was like, "Yo, dude, I heard, you know, you help on Manny, this and that, you know, we want to invite you to the New York Warriors show as a guest." I was like, oh my God, that's the big leagues. Like I knew it. You know what I mean? So yeah, they invited me. I started as a guest there. And after a while, they invited me again as a guest, and they invited me again as a guest, and you know, just talking to them off air, DMing and stuff like that. And then they invited me to the main hangout chat, New York Warriors chat, the hangout chat. If everybody knows we hang out. Yes, they put me in there. So yeah, it was official that they made me there. They invited me to the show, and then it was like they made it official. You know, Joker and 21, blah blah blah, New York Warriors. So that kind of set in with Manny. So Manny, you know, it was him. who got me into being a New York Warrior, basically. So
wow, that's awesome, man. Yeah, dude. And you guys really have established yourselves. I mean, I know, and as you mentioned, like they've been doing it for a long time at this point.
Yeah.
The followers and subscribers that they have, I mean, they put on a great show. You guys put on a great show. I feel like since I mean, New York Warriors was one of the first groups that I've actually ever discovered as I got into comics myself. Like I'm fairly new to comics, so I'm less than 3 years into it in terms of like really collecting and looking into like, you know, YouTube and what people are posting and things like that. So for me, you guys were the first ones I really saw. Awesome. And you guys were doing the crazy auctions and like the crowds that were showing up to these things and the money that was being thrown around at some of these auctions is like crazy. And it was just so new to me. So I'm like, oh, cool. Like I didn't know people did this. You guys introduced that to me. Before I started seeing it on Instagram and everything else.
That's my special guest there.
Oh, nice.
Say hi to Remy.
Very cute, very cute.
Thanks.
I want to say a quick hello. Gomez is in the house. What's up, Gomez?
Broski.
And we also have Sith Lordley representing Spine Ticks. What's up, Sith?
What's up,
Good
Sith?
to see you, brother. And I think I missed Herminio before. Herminio Reyes. Big Herm. What's going on, Big Herm?
What's up? Yeah.
So guys, appreciate everybody hanging out with us today. We got 17 people hanging out right now. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to Joker if you haven't subscribed already. Sheena talking about the dog already. Here we go, puppy now. Can we talk about the puppy now?
She's not a puppy no more. She's like 13, 14 years old. That's my old lady. That's my old lady.
Yeah. Cute, man. So I want to go back for a second with before you got really established and into things, even just online and stuff. What was your experience with because you got in, like you started reading books at 8 years old, 12 years old, you bought your own book. When did you first experience a Comic-Con? Because I hear you mentioning Comic-Cons, you go to them. I know you like going to them a lot. What was your first, where was your first one and how old were you?
My first one, I've been going to Comic-Cons for more than 10 years, about you could say like 2008, 9, something like that. As a matter of fact, I think it was 8 because my daughter was born in 2009 and my girlfriend was pregnant and we went to Comic-Con. Yes. So all right. Shout out to Comics Are Great. Listen, he asked me a good question. Yeah. He wants to know the origin of East Meets West. I will get into that in a little bit. It's a quick one. So it was about like 2008. I want to say that it was on New York Comic-Con on my first one. And I've been going to one every year. Every year I've been going to one. And shout out to the wife because the wife loves it. She loves it.
Oh, nice.
She puts up with it. You know, listen, I want to give a huge shout out to the women who back us up because this right here, yo, dude, it's not a cheap hobby. And they put up with us, you know, doing these streaming and buying books and doing stuff like that. So the woman is the backbone to this. So I appreciate, especially my wife, man, you know, for doing this. But yeah, she's into more of the cosplay. So she dresses up for New York Comic-Con, and my daughter now she starts dressing up because you know she's always with my wife. But my son is more with me, so we're more walking around trying to get the deals and check out artists and stuff like that. So it's like when it comes to the what is it, New York Comic-Con, it's not just buying books. It's always a whole bunch of things you do there. You get to meet creators, you get to meet celebrities, you get to meet buy Funkos and exclusives and stuff like that. Plenty of things to do. So it's plenty to do. So my girlfriend, she does my wife, she likes to buy like dress up and stuff. Usually her signature move is zombie face. So she likes to do zombie makeup and stuff like that. Nice. So shout out to her, man, for doing all that stuff. And she's like, oh yeah, come on, babe, put on a mask or put on, because she knows I don't dress up. I'm not doing all that stuff. Right. Walk around all that, get caked up in my face and all that. Dude, give me a mask and I'm good. Exactly, simple. I've been going to these for the past, it has to be 2008, 13 years already, with the family. It's kind of a tradition now that we do it. And now that my kids are grown now, so I can't get them kid passes no more. It's getting expensive.
Adds up, man. Adds up.
Yes,
for sure.
Definitely, man.
So have you gone to any others like on the West Coast or San Diego, things like that, or any other big ones?
No. The most I've been to around has been the tri-state area. It's been Jersey, which is the East Coast Comic-Con. East Coast Comic-Con is another good one that I recommend to go to.
I've been there once. Right before the pandemic, the year before that, my first time going there.
That's basically a comic book collector's con. Basically, you buy books and you meet your creators, and that's it.
Yep. more focused.
Celebrities. Yeah, exactly.
Right, but yeah, more focused on the comic stuff.
So,
I agree.
But basically, I would love to go to San Diego. I would love to go Emerald City. I would love to go to the West Coast to meet my peoples, Broski, James. I would love to go to Hawaii to go see the Doom 143. Because the Doom out there, he says, there's a nice con that's out there in Hawaii, and who wants to pass up to go to Hawaii? You know,
hell yeah, I'll go there for anything, man. I would go there for anything. I was gonna say, have you been to like Baltimore Comic Con or C2E2 or anything like that?
We was planning to go to C2E2, me, Erod, and Manny, to go to C2E2 last year before the pandemic started.
Right.
Yeah, so we was planning on going to that, but it never happened because what was going on. But this year, next month, or actually later this month, we're going to the the Old School Comic Show hosted by Little Giant Comics. Shout out to Jason Brodnick. He's the promoter, and we've been promoted all over East Meets West. 3 Men in the Basement has been promoted. CPSI that I'm part of too now, doing this stuff. And Principal Defects. They're nice. Promoting. Yeah, the what is the Old School Comic Show? So
I didn't realize it was so soon.
Oh yeah, it's the 24th. Yeah, it's gonna listen. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing, bro. You got amazing Murphy coming through. Erod 212, Biggs, Manny. That we're gonna road trip over there. It's gonna be dope. The road trip alone is gonna be fun.
That's awesome. I had my eyes set on Terrificon that's coming up.
I've heard it. I might go to that.
Yeah. Hopefully, see how things go. But hopefully I could be able to hit that up as well. Want to say a quick hello to Morbius in the house. What's going on, Morb? So you want to answer Comics Are Great's question?
Yes.
He wrote he's been waiting for 4 weeks or something like that in here.
Yeah. He's been asking me the origins of East Meets West, and it goes back to Gomez, the comic collector. Yeah, I knew him since I started my like with the Warriors, basically. That's like my go-to guy. We talked off air, in the hangouts and stuff like that. And we always talked about it. It was like, yo, we should do a show, just me and you, broski. Because if you know Gomez, that's another dude you didn't have on this show. If you know Gomez, his energy is just like, oh my god, such a positive dude, and he's hyped all the time. And that's my brother. You know what I mean? That's my brother. So we talked about it. We should have a show, just me and him, and just talk about comics and stuff like that. And we was messing around, and then Biggs kind of give a little kick in the ass for us. He was like, listen, man, you should do it. Y'all talked about it so much, you should do it. And this was about last year sometime.
Okay.
And our first anniversary, 1 year anniversary is coming up, I think is the end of May. So
nice. Congrats, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, so the show's been doing good. So yeah, basically it was supposed to just be me and Gomez just shooting, chilling, hanging out with the community, kind of like this, but just people that we try to keep it like people that people don't know that now, from the new people in the community, like old people. That's why I wanted to bring the Doom 143. We wanted to highlight Amazing Murphy, Erod, like the older people. You know what I mean? Because those are the guys that paved the way for these people that are doing this YouTube community, comic book community now. So yeah, it was supposed to be that. So we started it. It was the first show. If you go back, it was bad. It was bad. Camera and voice, the sounding and everything. It was bad. But it started out with me and Broski. We was talking, and you could see the difference from now and then. It's like night and day. So yeah, then our very first guest, and I want to give a shout out to my man Josh Grav. Josh Grav, amazing dude, man. That's another brother of mine. Everybody from East Meets West is my brother. In New York Warriors, my brothers. We started out doing auctions first. Because he started out, I think, in Thorough or Chat RCG's auction. I forgot whose auction it was. So I was basically the moderator, talking stuff like that. I'm the mouth, doing the auctions, for those. So I was talking, and then we got to know each other, me and Josh. And he was like, "Yo, you should host on your own channel, an auction or whatever." I was like, we'll do it. So we ended up doing that, for a little bit. It wasn't gonna be anything that was permanent. It was always temporary, always.
Right.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. You already know, man. Listen, West Coast, man. Listen, I want some tamales, all right? I want some tamales. So yeah. So I was like, let's bring Josh as our first guest. So he was our first guest. It turned out to be great, man. Josh is like you. He's a new collector. He's been collecting for like a year, or a little bit over a year now. If you go to his page, you know, you get to see his collection, how he's collected for the first year. And he has some amazing books, dude. I would never acquire those books in my first year collecting. You know, so yeah. So it started out with Josh, and then after that, me and Doom always kept talking too in the background, you know, off and on or whatever.
Sure.
And he was like, "Yeah, I have good chemistry. You and Gomez, you know, you should make like a team." And shout out to the Doom, you know, 9.2 crew. If you know 9.2 crew is the Doom 143, Alex the Comic Hoarder, Real Master X, Freddy's, and then we have Stave Seeking the Mint. Those 5 guys, and they were just about like as good, you know, like they came a little bit after the Warriors. Yeah, I want to say like they came in after the Warriors. But I used to watch their videos every Sunday. Yo, they were awesome. They did giveaways. They talked good stuff, the spec stuff, whatever. You know, so they were good. You know, they were amazing. So I would tune in once in a while, chat here and there. You know, so then me and Doomby had this relationship, you know, background, and he'll be a great guest on New York Warriors show. And you know, so he gave me the idea. He was like, you should have a show, a panel. I was like, okay, it sounds good. So my first thought was Josh. He was our first guy. So I was like, you know what, Josh. And then the next person I thought of, I need a West Coast guy. I need a West because East meets West. I need a West Coast. I got the East, me and Josh. Let's get another West Coast guy. And then my first West Coast thought, like my first person from West Coast was James, King of the Golden State. And I went to him. If y'all know James is one of the best hunters that there is in this comic book community, hands down. If you go to see his video, your hands down. He tells you the stories.
I will also add that James he has a mean meme game over on Instagram. He has the stuff he posts is hilarious. I'm like, dude, you have me dying every time you post something on your story, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah, yo. Yeah, so I asked James to come be a guest with me and Broski. I was like, Broski, what you think about this? And he was like, let's just have him as a guest, see how we flow with him. I was like, all right, no problem. So we invited James, and you know, I knew James from the Warriors a while back too. And he was like, yo, no doubt. So it was one Sunday he was available, so he came, joined us. We had our episode with him, and we flowed beautiful with James. James was, you know, always, if you hear him, he could talk and he'd tell his stories about stuff, you know, his hunting and his experience. So I was like, all right, that's pretty dope, you know. And then I was like, I gotta have, you know, because Erod was always coming in and out. He was like, yo, you send me the link or whatever. So Erod 212 became another part of East Meets West. And you know, right now he's working, his schedule is a little crazy, so it conflicts. So that's why he's not all the time on the show. So we added him on. And then the last piece, I was like, I gotta ask Doom. So I was like, Doom was the guy, man. You know, he has to be on the show. So I asked the Doom. And without hesitation, you know, he was like, I'm down, but I can't be on all the time. I was like, listen, we take whatever. Right. You know, it would take whatever. We could take 2 episodes of you a month. You know what I mean? Sure. So he was like, yo, no doubt, whatever. But listen, when you don't see the Doom, he's always working with East Meets West, yo. He's always giving us advice on what to do, what should be the new show, what books to recommend as cover of the week. So he's working backstage. So, you know, all my guys, and I believe it or not, I feel like when it comes to James, Gomez, Josh, Erod, myself, we all got everything so like covered basically when it comes to, you know, this comic book community. So that's basically comics are great. The origins of East Meets West. The rest is history, bro.
There it is, man. There it is.
Yes.
Go, man. And I'll tell you, man, you dropped some names that I'm not familiar with. So I definitely feel like I want to do some homework and look up some of these names because I mean, it sounds like great people. So it's cool that you're putting this together.
Yeah, definitely. And one person I recommend if you have him on the show, the Doom 143. The guy is very knowledgeable when it comes to comic collecting. Yeah. So that's one guy, man. Definitely.
I'll add him to the list, man. I'll reach out. It sounds dope. We got Fable in the house. What's going on, bro? Station, brother. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the books. So so before you even show off some books that I know that you have with you today, my first question for you is, are you currently reading books right now? And if you are, what are some of the things that you're reading right now?
Oh, well, funny that you say that, Justin. Now that we're doing with CBSI, working, shout out to Mike Morello. He does cover Fire. Every week, basically, he pulls out covers that he likes. New Comic Book Day. Okay. So basically, you know, we started once we got the team up with CBSI, we started already doing New Comic Day reviews.
Okay.
So we started reading books. I was always a Batman guy. Great way. I appreciate the comments are great. Batman, I was always reading Batman. So Batman is definitely on my list. Anything that's Batman related, I like to read. I try to read, I should say. Batman, definitely Detective Comics I read. I enjoy Batman, Catwoman. A lot of people's not feeling it, because it's Tom King, but read it. Trust me, it's a good read. It's a good read.
I've heard some good things about it. I've heard people talking positive.
I mean, they turn away because it's Tom King, and what Tom King did with Batman.
But he was great with other things. He was great with Mr. Miracle, other like the 12-issue miniseries, things like that. He's great with that stuff.
I agree. All I gotta say is read Batman, Catwoman. Let me know at the end if it's bad. I'm telling you, stuff like that. Department of Truth, obviously. Something's Killing the Children. I have not read yet, but I have the 2 trade paperbacks. I will read those. Nice. New Moon is something new that I started. 2 Moons, excuse me.
2 Moons. So good. It's so good.
What? Hell yeah. One thing that we started reading in New Comic Book Day, and I'm sticking with it, is Nightwing, the new story arc that Tom Taylor read.
I just read it for the first time. I never read a Nightwing book in my life. Let me just say, I'm not a big DC person, but until recently, I started reading more DC, and that was one of the first things that actually got me in, just literally, a month ago or whatever. So good, so good.
And then Marvel, basically the regulars, the Venom. I love Venom. I love King in Black and stuff like. So I'm we all when it comes to East West, when we do our reviews, that's what we read basically.
I love it. I love that. Yeah, I mean, you're all over the place, which I'm a big fan of. The idea of just going in for any publisher, really. And like I said, I was kind of setting myself away from DC only because I felt like I was so wrapped up in the characters in Marvel that I felt like I couldn't keep track of everything. But after a while, I'm like, man, there's still just great stories and great characters in DC. I can't not read some of that stuff. So, I wanted to start exploring. And so, but it's great. So I love hearing that. You're all over the place. You're reading a lot of different things. Shout out to the indies. So many great indies coming out right now too. So it's great that you're really exploring that stuff. So let's talk about a couple books that mean something to you. I know you got some books you want to show off. So I'll let you kind of take the floor with that.
Yeah, definitely, man. So I want to show off these books, man. This one right here is a book that means a lot to me. I'm a Joker guy. You know what I mean? This one right here is Joker #1.
Oh, my bad. Let me. No,
it's so good, man. I know how it is when hosting these stream yards. Trust me.
I know. Always location there.
Yeah. So here I have Joker #1, 9.4, signed by Denny O'Neil. Denny O'Neil. Yes, man.
What year is that?
75.
Okay, I know that cover. It's a classic cover.
Yeah, definitely, man. So this is one that listen. I'm gonna show you. This is gonna be Batman heavy. So if you like Batman, I'm sorry.
No, man, I'm all for it, man.
Another book right here. I'm gonna show off 3 slabs and then 3 other stuff. Here is Batman Killing Joke 9.8 that I won from a Gem Mint raffle. Shout out to Gem Mint back in the day.
Nice.
Yeah. Signed by Brian Boland. Here, the first printing of the Killing Joke.
Damn, and a 9.8, man.
9.8, signed right there in the cuff by Brian Boland. Just real quick, Killing Joke, man. I've been trying to complete the whole printing. So this is the 2nd printing. This is the 4th. This is the what is this? The 5th, 6th, 7th. No, 12th. Excuse me, 12th, and then the 14th. So yeah, I'm trying to get I have the 9th printing, which is the hardest one to find.
Right.
At CGC, and I have another first printing over there too.
Nice.
And then last slab I want to show off, and this is the book that really means a lot to me when it comes to the YouTube community and my brothers from New York Warriors. This is the book right here that started it off, and this is the Batman 608 2nd printing that I got signed with Manny.
Nice.
Yes, this right here. This is means a way more than you know what I'm saying to me. So
the experience and everything that you went through, and when you got that, it's like
yes. So shout out to Manny for that, man, for making that happen. And then the last 3 books is something simple. It means a lot to me because this is something my son gave me. And me and my son, we tight when it comes to comic books. He's into doing stop motion, so he makes little stop motions with my action figures. If you see around, I collect a lot of action figures, so he's into that stuff. This is his first comic book that he made for me.
Right? Oh, no way!
Yes, my son
That's
made me a
dope.
comic book. Yeah. So here's issue 1 of Cloak and Dagger featuring Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is his favorite character, right?
Oh, I love it. That's so cool, man.
Yeah, if you see the art, this is just crazy. Is
Oh man,
to be continued. Is he
that's
back
special,
or
man.
not? Yeah,
That's special.
definitely.
It's real special.
Here's issue 2.
That's so cool, man. You
You
got an
know?
artist in the making right there, man.
Basically. And then recently he made this one, I think for Father's Day last year. There was a Spider-Man 3. The MGM edition. That's his initials in the world is mine.
Oh man,
So,
he's got his own editions now and everything.
yeah, to be continued. So my son,
it.
shout out to my son, man. Love you, man. So
Oh my gosh, that's awesome, man.
yeah,
Special.
that will never leave my collection. Never. So yeah.
For sure.
Is it signed?
You gotta get CGC on that, bro.
I know. That's funny, man.
A lot of love in the chat right now. A lot of love there.
I'm great, man. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
That's funny. Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, some great books. Incredible stuff, man. I know you have a lot of big collection. I've seen you show off books that you guys pull in the halls and stuff. The coffee talk alone, you guys. I missed this morning, but I love the stuff that you guys are doing over there. I mean, just the different books that you guys are always showing that you're pulling is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like every day. I mean, listen, I love talking to my friends on YouTube. So this is why I do it. This is why I do.
Totally.
I talk to Biggs, Thorough, when we do our indie spotlight with CBSI, we do that. With my crew over here, East Beast West, every Sunday, every Thursday, we do a comic book review, and we do our FOC exclusively for CBSI on Fridays on my channel. So that's badass.
I love it.
Yeah. So
I love it. And I saw earlier Herminio was saying that I think he was saying he just subbed you up. I don't think he was following before. But yeah, if you guys are not subbed up, make sure you do. I put the links below. Find Joker on Instagram as well.
Thank you,
man. Let's a question two questions before we get into some of the rapid stuff
Gotcha.
and we'll close out and stuff. But first thing is, where do you see right now your big goal of like where do you see yourself with these books, all these books, these special books that mean something to you, that you've been collecting for a long time and that you will continue to collect? Are you gonna sell them at some point? Are you gonna take them to the grave at some point? Are you gonna pass them down to your kids at some point? Like, what's the big picture goal for you, at least for now?
If it's right now, I don't want to leave all this stuff to my kids. I really don't, because there's a lot of books. Yo, for real. So my goal is to like trim the fat, and stay with the most important books in my collection. And it's a process that I've been trying to work. It's almost worked. It almost worked till I met Josh Graff. Once I met Josh Graff, he pulled me right back into New Comic Book Day and getting a pull list. And I been starting to get books every Wednesday. So shout out to Josh Graff. Thank you, and not thank you. So but yeah. But basically, I'm a run collector. I like collecting runs. I used to collect some runs. Marvel Team Up, I was big and I was trying to complete that. I was about like almost 80% complete. I'm still 80% complete. I just stopped collecting that.
Okay.
I like to collect a lot of these books. Like, these are my hoarding books, basically. Just, this right here is a book that's signed by Neil Adams. This is the first Batman work of Neil Adams.
Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah, signed too by Neil Adams.
Nice.
So yeah, I got that. This is one of my hoarding books. Then we have Batman 321. One of my favorite Batman artists is going to be Jose Garcia Lopez, and I think he signed this one, if I'm mistaken, somewhere. I don't know. He signed one of those. And then you got the Rogues Gallery book, man. So yeah, those are the books I like to hoard and stuff. Yeah. So yeah. But so it's a little bit out of the place, but I was trying to be. It was more of a New Comic Book Day at first. I just collected the new books. I already had old books already, so I was like, let me keep up with the new books. Then it just got overwhelmed with that. I got too much. I got too much of that. So auctions helped out a lot to try to trim the fat. But it's just auctions is just too many auctions now. I got a little bit tired of the auctions. I got exhausted. Just put it that way.
I don't blame you, man. There are a lot.
It's overwhelmed, because at the beginning, if you watched New York Warriors, it was always what is the Great Legend and New York Warriors. That's it. That's the only people who do auctions. After that, other people started doing them, and then it just right now it's like every day somebody has an auction.
Yeah.
I'm just that's like this.
You're auctioned out. You're auctioned out. Yeah. Well, I think it's a good idea what you're saying with the idea of like trimming. Especially as we get older, and even if we're talking like 30-40 years from now, and the idea of potential retirement and things like that, I don't want to necessarily have all these boxes when I'm 70 years old.
Exactly.
I'm gonna want to have it condensed to, ideally, if I could keep like one short box, that would be like, perfect.
Yeah.
And even that, like, eventually I'll have to pass it to like my nephews or somebody, because I'm not gonna take it to the grave per se, but like, I want to pass it to someone who it might, help or change their lives or whatever. We have Desired Comics in the house. Want to say a quick hello.
Yo, what's up, Desired? Yo, what's up, man? I saw the show that you did with Desired here. Yo,
he
good dude,
last
man.
week or 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Yeah, man.
Good dude. Yeah, man.
He's everywhere, man. So love the idea of trimming. I think that's a great way to kind of consider that and go about it, because
listen, Justin, I try my best, but like I said, Josh just messed that whole thing up for me. So hey, whatever.
Happens, man. Happens. He said Joker's being humble.
yo, comics and culture, man. What he's talking about is a trade that he wanted to do for my ASM 252 Black Suit Spider-Man on ASM. Yeah, and it's signed by Stan Lee as a newsstand. He wants that book so bad. I just can't do it. I can't trade that. It was a gift to me. That's the only reason why comics and culture. You know what I mean? I can't do that.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Careful, man. He's gonna twist your arm one day.
What? This has been going on for like a year or so.
Another big question I want to ask you, and this is something I always like to put out to my guests, especially because, as you mentioned, like, every day I feel like there's new people joining the hobby, new people getting into it. Obviously, the movies, the TV shows, Falcon Winter Soldier, WandaVision, those are all pulling people in now, where I think we're starting to gain fans that want to explore comics, and they might not know how to explore comics, or they might not have been, really into reading before for comics. My question to you is, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who might just be trying to approach this hobby for the very first time? And I mean brand new, other than the movies, just trying to like get into collecting, reading, all that stuff. Do you have any general advice that you might throw their way?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, enter at your own risk. You know what I'm saying? Like basically, my advice, honestly speaking, is gonna be just collect what you like. Try to stay, because honestly speaking, when it comes to comic book collecting, it evolves. It changes up all the time. Because you start off collecting new comic books, then you like digging those. Oh, he got a nice Silver Age book. I'm gonna get into that. Yeah. Oh, I like runs. I'm gonna get into that. So try to stay into like certain lanes, of collecting, because if not, you're gonna end up like me with a whole bunch of books that you don't want in your collection. So my thing is just try to be selective of what you want to do in your collective. If you like Batman, stick with your Batmans. If you like new comic book days, books, and you're into the independence, stick with independence and stuff. So that's my advice to the new collectors. But at the same time, there's no wrong way of collecting. There's no wrong way.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on there, and I think that it's definitely, like I said, like it can be overwhelming. I think it can be overwhelming if somebody goes into a shop for the first time and they just see all these comic books on the wall, whether they're new or old. It is a little overwhelming. So I like the idea of what you're saying here, just trying to, focus, drill down on a couple things. And you're right. There's a lot of different ways to collect. I know you mentioned like collecting runs, things like that. I would say explore, do your research, I guess, look at the styles of what you could collect too.
That's a good one. Do your research. Yes.
Yeah. Can't go wrong there. VP was saying he agrees. Always say buy what you like. Don't go over the top. Yeah, like, I mean, it's easy because, I mean, it can kill the wallet otherwise. That's for sure, too. You try to buy everything, it'll catch up with you at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Stick with what you enjoy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I'm a Batman guy, so all I collect Batman. Like, this is my number ones for the new 52. Yeah, I got this signed by Capullo and Snyder. There's a couple copies of those. First print. Then I'm trying to get all the printings. The second print. Then that's the third print, and then that's the fifth print. I'm missing the fourth print, and I'm missing the Warner Brothers exclusive, and then I have the Alamo City exclusive. Nice. So yeah, man, just stuff like that, little perks that I like to collect. If you're like I said, if I'm a Batman guy, and when it comes to Marvel, I like collecting Silver Age FFs and Silver Surfer. That's it basically. I collect ASMs, but that's more for my son. Like I'm trying to collect all the Spider-Mans that I have. I have an ASM. The lowest one I have is a. Is it a 28? Is it 28? The first Molten Man. I have that book. But that whole run, the whole collection, McFarlane. I have a 298, and I think I have a 299 signed by McFarlane. That's all his. I know right now I'm holding them for him, but that's all his. Whenever he's of age and he wants to sell them or keep collecting, then that's on him. But that I'm doing that for him. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah. No, that's great, man. As he gets older, then he'll have a little something to already be building off of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I missed this before. I don't think I realized it, but it's Desired's birthday. I see everybody saying happy birthday to Desired Comics. So
happy birthday, Desired.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday, Nigel. Good stuff. Man.
Behave yourself. Behave yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's a Saturday, so I don't know. Yeah. He could be out and about soon. So very cool. Appreciate all this, the information that you're dropping here, some of the advice and things like that. I always like to talk a little bit about, helping out the community, especially newer people who don't necessarily want to speak up to say that they're newer. That's another thing too. So I like to have information just be put out there for anybody who might need it at some point. So
yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah. So with that being said, I want to get into some of the rapid questions before we kind of wrap things up here. So let me pull up my some of my questions here.
Let's go.
This is like, I always enjoy doing this because, like I said, I told you before, some of them are comic book related, some of them are not comic book related. So kind of hit you with a little bit of everything.
All good.
So I think we already know the answer to this first one, but I asked you it anyways. If you had to choose one, only one, who's your favorite character of all time?
Batman.
So if it is Batman, who is your favorite villain of all time?
Joker.
Okay, that makes sense. If you could have one superpower, what would that power be?
Oh, that's gonna have to be like Rogue. I'm gonna give you Rogue because she got everybody's powers. She touches somebody, I have his power. Yeah. So I'm gonna say Rogue.
Nice, I like it. I thought you were gonna say being a billionaire, like
that would be like I think I have more of a chance of being with Rogue's powers than being a billionaire.
That's funny. Yeah. Who's your number one favorite artist of all time?
You know what? Of all time, I'm gonna say Neil Adams, just because he's just a legend in this community, in the comic world. So I'm gonna say him, but there's plenty of more behind that. You have Jim Lee, you have McFarlane, you have a Capullo. It's just tons, man, tons.
Too many to count. Too many for sure. But that's a great one. I think Adams is a spot on. What was the last comic book that you read just recently? Do you remember?
Last comic book I read was gonna be Shadow Doctor. Shadow Doctor's independent book. Yes, issue 2. Great read.
What'd you think? Okay, yeah.
Oh my God, it was a good read. And if you don't know that book, man, guys, pick it up. That's all I gotta say. Pick it up. It's a good book.
Agreed. It's a good time right now because only the first 2 issues are out, so it's easy to catch up. All right. So all right, here's one. If you could go back in time, and let me just say, if money didn't matter, and yet you weren't allowed to sell this book either. If you could go back in time and buy any one comic book off the shelf for a cover price of any time period, what would that comic book be?
I know everybody's gonna spec maybe Detective 27, but I'm gonna go with Batman number 1. I'm going with Batman number 1, because you get his first title solo series, and then you have first appearance of Catwoman, the first appearance of Joker on that one. So I'm gonna go with Batman number 1. That's
that. Yeah, man, I dig it. Yeah. Very cool. Let's see. Your favorite superhero movie of all time?
Favorite superhero movie is gonna be The Dark Knight. Okay. It's dope, and Heath Ledger just killed that. Yeah,
it's perfect. Everything about it. All right, some non-comic book questions for you.
Yeah.
First things first. Where do you stand with music? What's your favorite genre, and do you have a favorite artist or group or band or anything like that?
Yeah, believe it or not, man, I'm from the Bronx. I'm here in South Bronx, so hip hop is gonna be mine. But it's just up there when it comes to punk rock. I love punk rock.
Nice.
Yeah, I like Green Day nowadays, the Blink-182, but mine's favorite ones is like the Ramones, Blondie,
like the original punk rock.
Yes, the original punk rock. I like that. That's just dope. Hip hop is gonna be 90s hip hop, early 2000s, like the Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, all that stuff. So definitely one of my favorite albums of all time is gonna be Illmatic. That's my favorite album in all music genre. And it's just that should just be placed in a museum, bro. That's just a classic album.
100%.
Yeah,
I think you're spot on there. I feel like we grew up at the same time. You're naming a lot of things that I'm into as well. So I dig it. Raging was saying, I missed it before. Neil's great, very nice man, funny guy. That's cool.
Yo, real quick, Neil Adams is a dope dude when it comes to small. Like if you can see him in the LCS and he's doing signings, great dude. But you see him in cons, stay away. That's all I gotta say. Really? My advice. That's my advice.
All right. What about let's talk a little bit about sports, because I see you got a Packers hat on. What's your favorite sport, or do you follow a lot of different sports? And then what's your favorite team?
My favorite sport is gonna be, believe it or not, baseball. I grew up baseball, baseball, playing baseball, whatever. Yankees. I'm Yankeed out, bro. I'm in the Bronx, so there's gonna be Yankees to the day I die, baby. You know, everybody. I grew up in with the Jeter era. Posada and Rivera and Pettit. Those were like basically the core four of the team. But you believe it or not, you know, my brother's favorite baseball player is Derek Jeter. Mine's just Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill was my favorite Yankee of all time. Time. He played aggressive, and when he struck out, man, you felt it when he struck out. You know, he'll punch that damn water bottle, break his bat. You know, the passion in Paul O'Neill. Dude, I love that. I love that. And that's one of my guys that I always wanted to meet. I met a bunch of celebrities. I met some dope people. Bret Hart is one of my people that I always wanted to meet, and I met him, got his autograph. It was awesome meeting him. Dude, I was speechless when I met. I was when I met, I regret it. I want to do it again. Like, I want to take that back. That moment back, I want to take, because when I met him, I was like, like, how you doing? You know, like I kept stuttering. Yeah, but Paul O'Neill, the Yankees. I love baseball, man. Love baseball.
Nice. My girlfriend would love the names you're dropping here. Andy Pettit is one of her favorites of all time.
Nice.
And just she like I was telling you before, she followed a lot of that stuff in the 90s and so on and so forth. So she's a big fan of a lot of that stuff. I'm newer, so I'm learning. You know, I'm the Aaron Judge of the, you know.
Aaron Judge is my guy. I love.
Yeah. Just I'm learning them as I go. So, but we got a good crew this year, so I'm hoping that you know, now that we got Cole on the mound, I feel good. So. What about football? Explain the Packers hat.
Oh my God! I've been listen. I'm a Brett Favre fan since the '90s. When was it that they won the Super Bowl? '97, I think it was, when they beat the I've been a Packers fan since '97. Giants fan. I was a Giants fan before that, but it's just I played. It all comes back to PlayStation when it goes back then. Game day was my thing back in the day. When Brett Favre and they made the cover, that was my team. I kept on playing, and that stuck with me.
God.
Being a Packers
fan. I used to love Game Day, dude.
What? Yes, man. They need to bring that back. You know, I always felt like Madden was number one always, but Game Day was there. But yeah, man, Packers, you know, I feel like the Packers like the Yankees to the day I die, man. I love the Packers. Don't get it twisted though. I root for my Giants, but when the Giants play the Packers, let's go Packers, baby. I'm a cheesehead.
Man. All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
There.
Nice.
Yep. There's my girlfriend right there.
Shout out to the girlfriend. Okay.
Very cool. All right, next question I have for you is
yes.
If where do I want to go with this? What's your go-to beverage for an evening? Alcohol.
Like a beer? Beer. All right. I tell you beer. Beers, and I tell you my other stuff. Beer. Modelo. Modelo's been, because I started off with the watered down Coors Lights. I progressed a little bit better.
That's the beer pong beer right there. The beer pong
exactly. To the Bud Lights, and then to the Budweiser, then the Corona. But now it's Stella's. Stella's was good too. But my number one go-to right now is Modelo's. A nice cool Modelo. I could go for one right now, bro. Damn. All right.
I know. Might have to get something after this.
yeah, definitely. But liquor-wise, man, I'm a whiskey guy. I love whiskey. So it's gonna be Jameson. Jameson, I love Jameson. It's so smooth. I'm a Jack. I drink Jack, Johnny. You know, definitely. But when it comes to whiskey, it's gonna be Jameson. I love Jameson.
Nice. And what about? I always like asking this question. If it's a Friday night, you have the house to yourself. Maybe it's you and the wife, and it's time for dinner. What is your go-to meal? Whether you're ordering out, you're cooking, or you're going out to eat. Let's pretend there's no pandemic. What's your go-to like meal that you'd want to have?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you what. If it's Friday night, I'm going to my mom's house, because I live like a few blocks away from my mom. So we're gonna go to my mom's house, and I'm Ecuadorian. So Ecuadorians, we make a mean ceviche. So ceviche is basically like a shrimp cocktail, just salad mixed up, whatever. And oh my god, that with some white rice and some fried plantains. Oh my god, amazing! Like, you making me hungry. I was
gonna say, I feel like I'm there right now.
Yeah, so that's my go-to, man. The Mom Dukes, man. Whatever she cooks, I'm there.
I love that.
The White Castle.
There you go, White Castle.
Yo, don't get into it. Yo, listen, I do love White Castle. That's why he's saying that. I do love White Castle. I Uber Eats it once in a while, but you know, that's it.
That's so funny. Never go wrong with Mom's home cooking.
Right? Yo, right? Yo, come on, you can't, man. You can't.
Now everybody's hungry after this show. That's a normal. That's just a normal thing. I should put that in the warning label before we go on. Just like, have food ready, because we always get into this conversation and
oh man,
everybody's like, yeah, I'm ready to eat now. What is wanted to ask you one other one. Last question for you is if you could travel anywhere in the world that you haven't been to yet, whether it's with the family, vacation type thing, if you had a week to go, where would you travel to?
I would travel to these questions. I like these questions.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm gonna travel to France. And reason why, because of my daughter. My daughter, growing up, she's always pretending to be in France. Like, I'll play with make believe with her. We'll sip our tea and so, and she go Paris. So that kind of brings me back. So I would love to do that for her, because this is the day she always mentions France and she wants to go see the Eiffel Tower and stuff like that. So I would love to go to France just for my daughter. It's
Nice. I love it, man. Yeah. Hey, I'd love to go there one day too, man. That's definitely on the list.
Yeah.
Traveling anywhere at this point, so trying to just get out of the house.
You need Food Channel.
Food Channel. All right,
yes, he does.
Gonna start a new show on Sunday.
You start with Gomez. Gomez is a good chef too, man. There you go. You got your chef. There you go.
There you go. Nice. Oh man. Well, Joker, dude, that's all the questions that I have for you, man. And this has been a blast, dude. I had an absolute blast. Appreciate you.
I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. The hour passed by like that, bro. So
it always does, man. It always does. I want to give you a little bit of a platform here. So why don't you let the people know where they can find you, where they could reach out to you if they want to reach out to you, and give us just a couple things of what you have coming up in the queue for shows and stuff. I know you got a lot, but
go ahead. I honestly speaking, you can find me on IG. You got a Joker, East Meets West. Yep. Find me there. IG me, DM. I like. Listen, I love talking comics, man. So we could talk. Let me see. And over here in the YouTube world community, man, East Meets West. You already know every Sunday. This Sunday we're not having because it's Easter. So we had an impromptu last night. So catch that, man, on my channel if you don't. If you have time to kill, it's 2 hours and a half, I think. But it's pretty dope content. So yeah, every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern on my channel we have East Meets West, the live podcast show. And then on Thursday we have our new comic book day reviews / CBSI's Cover Fire from Mike Morello. That we do cover tunes on my show on the live podcast too from Mike Morello on Sundays. And then on Friday is CBSI's Friday FOC with East Meets West. So yes, man. Josh Graff makes the list for CBSI. We put the content out there on YouTube. FOC is a final order cutoff, guys. If you don't know about that, get your pre-orders. You see what happens to that Berserker second print foil book. It's like $100 and something now. So I pre-ordered mines. You know what I mean? So stuff like that. You would like to be ahead of the game. So watch those FOC shows. Whatever you watch, whoever's you watch. But yeah, that's what we do on Fridays. And after that, let me see. With Thorough, I'm doing the Indie Spotlight with CBSI every Tuesdays with Thorough, and then I'm gonna rep to the day I die, baby. New York Warriors, man. Every Monday we got something going on at 10 p.m. Eastern, whether it's a live podcast show or an auction / claim sale. Leave it to Biggs, whatever he wants to do. And besides that, man, I don't really have anything else to mention. I think I shouted out the whole YouTube community. And BLC, shout out to BLC, man. Big Lion Cat 646. He is having an auction, guys. If you're into if you want, not doing nothing, want to buy some books, tune in tonight. I think at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Eastern on Big Lion Cat 646 YouTube channel. So other than that, man, that's it.
Man, I love it, man. I love it. Like I said, I know you're a busy man. I know you got a lot of things going on. I love the work ethic, love the hustle. So and it's all in fun. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you're going out of your way, having a good time. So a couple people showing some love here in the chat here.
Catch for sure, man. Yo, definitely, man. Yo, definitely shout out to you, bro. Listen, I love the positive feedback. Thank you for that, man. Hopefully, we'll do this. We'll bring you on East Meets West. How about that one day?
That'd be awesome, man. That would be awesome. I'd love to collaborate with you again. Obviously, hopefully this is not the last time. That's for sure. I know it's the first, but definitely want to do some more with you at some point. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Everybody here in the chat, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Really do appreciate everyone's time. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you're following him over on Instagram, Joker, and subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. Thank you, Michael Sove says great show, a lot of energy. Like the attitude from Joker, good stuff.
Yeah. Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, man. All right, guys. So, there's Flash by Night. What's going on?
Flash by Night. What's up, bro? Yeah.
All good, man. Yeah, catch the rewind, brother. Yeah, so I keep forgetting that it's a holiday tomorrow. So everybody have a great holiday, have a happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Hopefully we get this world slowly back to norm here sooner rather than later, and we can all start meeting up and doing some fun stuff. Yeah, he always asking about the dog.
Shout out to the dog. Yeah, she's sleepy. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, again, thank you, everybody. Joker, thank you so much, and we'll be signing off. So I'll be back again next Saturday, 2:00 Eastern time for another Comic Collector Origins.
Yep.
Later.